Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West. Welcome also to our guest, worship and pulpit guest, I should say, Seth Anderson-Matz. And also welcome to those of you who are in community with us today virtually via live stream. My name is Mark Steinberg, and I am pleased to serve our congregation on your Board of Trustees. We are grateful for the privilege of living and gathering on the traditional territory of a number of indigenous American nations who have inhabited and cared for this land and presently reside among us. Much of their history has been erased or ignored. We acknowledge our debt and honor their struggles and perseverance. We are a joyful community, grounded in love and committed to spiritual growth, inclusion, and justice. Our UU values call on us to act on those commitments and united in covenant and the spirit of love. Whoever you are, whatever your age, your skin color, your gender identity, and your chosen beliefs, even if none at all, you are welcome here. Whomever you love and however you define family, you are welcome here. Whatever the cultures of your ancestors, the language your grandparents spoke, the abilities or disabilities you hold, you are welcome here. Newcomers and visitors, there are flyers available at the welcome table in the foyer to learn about what to expect and how to connect at our church. And Peter Geis is our membership team representative today at that table, if you have any questions. Please also fill out the welcome side of the blue sharing slips that were handed out with the hymnals and leave them with the ushers. If you are watching online and want more information, please email us at visitor@uucw.org. People of all ages are always welcome in our sanctuary. Nursery care opened at 9:45 for children up to age 5. Children and youth ages 5 and over will leave for religious education classes after today's Time for All Ages service segment. The grade 9 to 12 Young Religious UU group will meet at 11:30. The worship exploration table over in the corner has some activities to help keep busy hands occupied. The service is also being shown in our community room for anyone needing to step out for any reason. Please join us for coffee, tea, and conversation after the service in the community room. You can gather there or hang out in the sanctuary or library. Challenge yourself to talk to someone who you've not yet met. Let's build community together. Our Board of Trustees has a vacancy. Interested members should contact Trustee Nick Clark. I don't think Nick's here today, but he would be the person to contact by no later than October 19th. If you have any questions after today's service, come talk to me at the meditation group table in the community room after service. The announcements accompanying today's order of service, as always, list many opportunities to get involved in our church community. For those watching on live stream, they can also be found in our e-news or on our website. I'm just going to call out 3. Announcement number 2, today, after service workshop, Seth will be leading a workshop on More Than Welcome, Building Solidarity with Trans Folks in Your Congregation and Beyond. And that starts at 11:45 a.m. I don't have a room number, but I assume it's right here in the sanctuary. Okay. So that is available at 11:45. The 2025-26 directory is coming out soon. Please take time to verify your contact information for the new directory, which is due out in the middle of October. Stop by the community room today or next Sunday to review what we currently have for your records, and contact Vicki Banville if you have any questions. Finally, we are having a fundraiser. The Church Shoe fundraiser starts October 1st. It runs through December 7th. Look for the big red box at church where you can drop off donations of new and gently used shoes. On Saturday, November 22nd, the church will host a mass collection event. So talk this up with people you know, even beyond our church community, and keep an eye out for next week's special e-news for all the details. Now let's settle in as we continue today's service with our call to worship.
Good morning. My name is Steve Fry, and my pronouns are he, his, and him. It's wonderful to be here today on this glorious whatever season it is. Big question mark, but I'll deal with it. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our guest in the pulpit today. Seth Anderson-Matz is a queer trans community minister and public theologian based in South Minneapolis. He holds a Master of Arts in Religion and Theology from United Theological Seminary in the Twin Cities, and has served in a variety of ministry roles and contexts, including as interim minister of First Presbyterian Church of Mankato and Children, Youth, and Families Program Coordinator at First Universalist Church of Minneapolis. He's known Reverend Jill for some time and came strong on her recommendation. So we welcome Seth today. And our call to worship today comes from Rebecca Savage. Rejoice. Rejoice with full hearts, beloved people of blessing, rejoice. May this time of worship celebrate what we know at our core. Blessings are real and ours to claim and radiate. Blessings are abundant and ours to revel in and pass along. Blessings are transformational. That's hard to say. And ours to be challenged by as we grow towards the faith we know we can be. And now, please, Mark, if you'll help me. I'm going to light our chalice. Please join us in the words that are in your order of service. We light this chalice to ignite the divine spark of the universe, whose pronouns have been plural, a co-creation of brilliance and diversity, a tapestry of souls perfected. And now please rise as you're willing and able, and let's sing together hymn number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
Rejoice. Good morning. My name is Dave Cicero. I'm Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UU Church West, and my pronouns are he and his. I'm going to ask all our young people to please come forward. We have several cushions up here, so if you come a little closer, I'd love for you to see the pictures in today's story. And I'll be asking you to help those who are not so close to know what's in some of those pictures as we read. And as we assemble, wonderful. I'm also just going to add that if having childcare would make the difference if you're coming to Seth's workshop this afternoon or not, it is available. So maybe just if you can find me afterwards, just to confirm that that we will have someone stick around. They are already in place. So. I'm just going to get a little more comfortable. I think it's nicer to tell stories from a seated stool than standing at a lectern. Okay. So today's story is called Julian is a Mermaid. It was written by Jessica Love and published by Candlewick Press. Now, I know as the author of this story, as Jessica Love pursued an acting career after college, she had the feeling she wanted to create something that lasted longer than just one performance or, a couple weeks of a play production kind of a thing. So she had this idea and found a publisher, and she's written a couple books. Let's see, okay. So we'll start here. This is a boy named Julian. And this is his abuela. And those are some mermaids, if you see them in the window behind. Julian loves mermaids. And as they're on the subway, what are some things that might be going through his mind? Can someone in front here just kind of call out one thing that you see in the picture? Yeah, go ahead. So swimming, okay. What do you see? Go ahead. Well, there's a book there, yep. So maybe he's reading, yep. Anyone else see anything else there? Yeah, does he? There's some fish, and if we go to the next slide, there's even more fish, right? What else do you see? What is it? A stingray, yep. So do you think these things are really on the subway? Does he? What else? Okay, see a Dalmatian maybe? What else? An octopus, Something else? Okay. My goodness, it's quite the subway ride here. Mermaid now, yep. Vámonos, mijo, this is our stop. Oh. Abuelo, did you see the mermaids? Because there were some mermaids on the subway. Oh, yes, I saw them, mijo. Abuela, I'm also a mermaid. I'm going to take a bath. You be good. Julian has a good idea. What's one thing you notice in this picture? Okay, so he's wearing shorts, and then he's not wearing shorts. Yeah, what else? Go ahead. What's that? Sandals? This good idea is getting bigger. What else do you see? Go ahead. Okay, you might be trying to dress up as a mermaid, huh? I see him pulling some leaves off some plants. Oh, now he's looking at that curtain on the window. Oh, boy. Oh! Uh-oh. Now see, this is the point where I wonder, what's going to happen here? Is Julian in trouble? And we continue the story. Come here, mijo. What do you see in that first picture over here? What's happening? You don't think she's mad? Why not? What do you see? What's she doing? Calm, Andy? Maybe, abuela is kind of like an auntie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or no, it is grandma, isn't it? Yeah, it is grandma. Yep, you're right. And I see grandma giving beads just like you did to me this morning. Thank you. For me, abuela? For you, Julian? Oh, where are we going? You'll see, says abuela. Mermaids, whispers Julian. Like you, mijo, let's go join them. And they do. I know in today's religious ed classes, a couple themes are taking care of the other people in our community because they are us. It's part of the web that we're in. Our community is us. And I heard those words being spoken earlier today as well, in the chalice lighting and even in the hymn we sung. So, thank you for listening. Desi has agreed to lead us out. I'm going to have him light the RE lantern, please. And I'll ask those who are going to go to the religious ed classes to come forward and follow Desi out. We'll get organized right outside the door. And while they do that, I will ask everyone else to join me in singing our recessional. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Our love is with you always. As you go, continue. As you go.
Technology. Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. In a moment, I'll ask that you come up and join me if you have a joy or a sorrow to share with the congregation. If you choose and you don't want to come forward, please raise your hand and an usher will bring one of the microphones to you. There you go. And we'll go from there. So none of this will be shared on the redo. It's only for the listening ears and hearts that are here today and online. So please come share. Okay, I will light one final candle. Here we are. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts. Thank you. Our reading today is Hopefulness in Bad Times, written by Howard Zinn. It's an excerpt from his book, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train. To be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic. It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. What we choose to emphasize in this complex history will determine our lives. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places, and there are so many, where people have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act, and at least the possibility of sending the spinning top of the world in a different direction. And if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite succession of presents. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory.
Next up, we have a lovely song called We Will Carry Each Other. I'm grateful to be joined by Jess and Seth on this song, helping me to lead it. There are 4 verses, and the congregation is invited to sing just the chorus, beginning with the words, "My courage is your courage." I'm going to ask the choir to sing that once for you now, and then have you sing it with them, just so you know what it sounds like.
To say, but I still find solace when I close my eyes to pray what I've lost and what I hope can say. We will carry each other on the way. My courage soul and I haven't found it yet. There's abundance given freely, taken with no debt. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage, and the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage, and the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. We will carry each other on the way. We will carry each other on the way.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation to join you in worship this morning. As Steve said earlier, my name is Seth Anderson-Matz. I use he, him pronouns. And I am a queer and trans public theologian and community minister based in the Twin Cities area. Now, I always include trans somewhere at the front of my self-description when I introduce myself to congregations, in part because sometimes I forget that people don't just know I'm trans automatically upon meeting me. The squinty-eyed gender assessments from ill-mannered strangers have more or less subsided, thanks to the miracles of modern medicine. And for me, and I think for most trans people, being trans is more than just medical information. My entire life is shaped by the story of a girl who became a man. And every event along the path of that formation is a piece of the assemblage that is me. The word trans is really shorthand for a much, much longer story. A story that runs the duration of my whole life thus far and beyond. A story that is every story, and like no story you've heard before. And that story is certainly much longer than the 15 to 20 minutes I have here with you today. Still, with how frequently the word trans has been printed in the headlines lately, you'd think it was telling you the whole story. Last week, I read a headline that said, FBI to categorize trans people as nihilistic, violent, extremist threat group. Suffice to say, in the many decades that we've cried out for trans visibility in the public sphere, this is not what we meant. While anti-trans media representation has had a meteoric rise and calculated spread in the last couple of years, which has in some ways been unprecedented, the attitude itself is nothing new. Trans people have been publicly flagellated for society's malfunctions for centuries. Violence against trans people is a very long story, and is also a story of patriarchy, racism, classism, ableism, colonialism, imperialism, fascism, and so much more. What we now call trans people, people who transgress the standards of gender, have always existed everywhere, living in varying states of disclosure in every time, place, and sphere of all of human history. Wherever there have been rigid and harshly defined gender standards, there have always been people defying them, creating a deep and lasting legacy of other gendered figures, including artists, warriors, mystics, and prophets. But these histories have been and continue to be buried alive under threats and attempts at our annihilation. The German Jewish clinician Magnus Hirschfeld founded the Institute for Sexual Science in 1919, which would be the first clinic in the world dedicated to the study of sexuality and gender. Hirschfeld and his colleagues provided medical care, counseling, and some of the earliest known gender-affirming treatments, including hormone therapy and surgeries, and documented the lives of trans and gender nonconforming people in their care. Needless to say, Hirschfeld was an early target of the Nazi Party. In 1933, shortly after Hitler came to power, Nazi stormtroopers raided the Institute, looted its archives, and burned its library in the streets of Berlin, destroying decades of groundbreaking research and personal records, and violently setting back advancements in trans healthcare and education in a profoundly public display. So if you've ever wondered why you never heard so much about trans people until now, or why so many people are coming out as trans these days, perhaps it's because it's taken us nearly 100 years to find each other again. Still, trans historian and University of Minnesota PhD candidate Myra Billand Phipps writes, "What does it say about the magnitude of today's threats if these people who went through psychiatric incarceration, who lost everything to transition, who were permanently rejected from their families, who were locked out of waged work and civic life until they demanded re-entry, are telling me they're more concerned than they've ever been?" Anti-trans vitriol is now flooding the public sphere, and we were working with a shortage of levies to begin with. However, my message today is not about how or why you should be accepting of trans people in your personal or professional life, or include or integrate trans people in your congregation, or be in solidarity with trans people in your community and the world. This is not to give ethical and religious credibility or justification to the existence of trans people, or to offer evidence that trans people belong in our communities, or proclaim that trans people deserve love and care. And all of that is good and true and necessary, of course. And unfortunately, there are no shortage of people who still need to receive those messages. But too often, the baseline acceptance is the only message that can circulate in what limited airspace is left after the transphobic vitriol gets its time. But there is so much more that can be said for what trans life means and reveals about the meaning of life as we all know it. Now, this moment in our world's history is what social researchers call a polycrisis, an interlocking system of tragedies, local and global, near and far, compiling and compounding to create one giant mess of collective trauma. From systematized transphobic attacks to global war and genocide, to Christian nationalism, white supremacy, culture wars, violent wealth hoarding and labor exploitation, massive health disparities and federal aid cuts, climate disaster, and all of the many tendrils of these tragedies that wrap themselves around our daily lives. And none of this happens in a vacuum. All of this tragedy is a culmination of years, decades, centuries of plight. Not even to mention, we are all living just 5 years into the aftermath and continued effects of a global pandemic and shutdown, plus the series of mass uprisings following the murder of George Floyd, all creating sweeping traumas we have barely begun to unpack, let alone tend. I hear many people expressing great despair and dread. Like the walls are closing in, like the bottom is going to drop out at any given moment. There's so much to do, so much to undo, so much to build, so much to tear down, and such a long, hard road between here and there. How are we going to sustain ourselves? How are we going to prepare ourselves for whatever is bound to happen next? Trans theorist Hill Malatino writes, "Care is necessary in the wake of profound recalibrations. We need care in order to heal from transformative physical and emotional experience. We need it when the milieu we inhabit becomes radically reorganized. We need it especially when our lives fall in the gaps between institutions and conventional familial structures. Those gaps are worlds, and those worlds don't function without care work. And let me tell you, trans folks know all about creating new worlds. No matter the circumstances or timing of our transitions, inevitably there has been a moment or series of moments we all arrive to where we wonder just how in the hell we're going to get from where we are to where we know we need to go. Maybe that path is lined with surgeries or hormones. Maybe it's paperwork. Maybe it's some hard conversations. Maybe it's all of the above. But a thread of care is sure to be woven tightly within and throughout each of these critical points of transition. When I had top surgery, or chest reconstruction surgery, I was blessed to receive competent and skilled care from a surgeon and a team of doctors and nurses. But this was nowhere near the extent of the care I ultimately experienced in order to achieve this new feat of my becoming. First, I had to know this was even possible. I had to meet people and read writing and see surgery results from people who cared to share about their own experiences. I had to get insights and referrals from trans folks in my community about who the best surgeons were and what surgeons to avoid. Then after surgery, I had the care of my loved ones who dressed my incisions and emptied my drains and brought me food and laid in bed with me while I rewatched every episode of Will and Grace. And now I share my experience and insights with others as they make their way through this rite of passage. Malatino refers to the work of queer disability justice activist Leah Lakshmi Piepsina Samarasana and their naming of a model called care webs. Care webs move a step further into the more commonly known idea of mutual aid and regard this type of active interdependency not just as an occasional practice of support, but as an essential system for survival that is inextricable from our bodies and our hearts. Malatino continues, I want our care webs to be as resilient as possible, which means understanding when, where, and how they come to tear. These webs so often begin to shred or intensify in their desiccation when we admit out loud that we're trans, when we come to that significant caesura in a life, we lose family, friends, jobs, and our mooring in various social worlds. Aftercare is about how we live through what comes after this rending of webs. Indeed, my top surgery itself was a deeply necessary form of care. It remedied a cause of deep concern within my sense of self. And yet, the care did not end when I woke up from surgery, nor did it begin when I was put under. As Malatino points out, the need for care nearly always necessitates the need for aftercare. I hear many people asking, what can I do for trans folks in these trying days? How should I be showing up for trans folks right now? And while trans people absolutely need support and advocacy from cis allies, especially when it comes to navigating institutions, I do think this question points to an important truth, which is that trans people have been taking care of ourselves and each other for centuries. We have managed to survive all of this time despite all odds. And it's not a coincidence. It's because we have created deep networks of knowing, of resources, of community. Because we know that it is our obligation to help every other trans person become and live. That we are made for and by each other. We know the care isn't finished when the moment passes, when the surgery is over, when the traumatic event has ceased. There is always more care to be given. It is this care that makes us, and it is this care that we are made for. And we also have to be honest and recognize that while there is always care to give, we have limited resources ourselves. When we are burnt out and wrought with compassion fatigue, we must recalibrate and call upon supplemental care for ourselves and our loved ones. This is part of what keeps our webs strong. Trans life gives rise to the truth of our shared interdependence and articulates something meaningful and important for all of us. That surviving this moment, moving along the arduous journey of shaping a new world, will require us to fully live into the knowledge that we are all meant to give and receive care, especially within systems that do not readily care for us or even outright deny us care. And not just for a moment, not just in one brief transactional exchange between hands. Care, and the lack thereof, is woven into who we are together, forging the shape of our communities and our characters. It is inextricable from who we are as people. May we all weave and be woven into webs of care. May we come to receive the care and aftercare we need, individually and collectively. And may we learn how to show our care for each other and all of creation with our very most sacred attention. May it be so. Amen.
Thank you, Seth, for that moving message. Thank you. UU Church West's Split the Plate program is an expression of outreach and generosity. Each month, half of all undesignated offerings are shared with a nonprofit organization helping us live our Unitarian Universalist values, advance social justice, and serve our community. Our partner for September is Pearls, a United Way community organization that offers a haven for girls from 5th grade through high school. Today we welcome Molly Prater, I hope I pronounced that right, Director of Development and founder and board member of Pearls.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Good morning. I just want to start by just saying thank you, not only for us being your plate partner for September, but just for all the love I've received today. I just feel amazing coming in here. There's been so much joy and love, and that's been so special on this Sunday for me to receive. So thank you all for that as well. If any of you are close to someone who works for a nonprofit right now, or if you're even just watching the news, I think you all know how hard it is for nonprofits right now. So I'm so thankful that, again, we get to be the plate partner here today. It's just so amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. By a show of hands, how many of you have heard of Pearls before? Oh, that's amazing. Okay, wonderful. So yes, we serve both girls and gender-expansive youth from 5th to 12th grade for after-school programming. Sometimes our programming is actually in the middle of the day at the school too, depending on what school we partner with. And we also are offering college and career readiness through, especially in that 9th to 12th grade range. We do mentoring programs. We do so many amazing things. And a fun fact, do you guys know that PEARLS stands for an acronym? No, I didn't know this either till the other day because I have worked here all of 3 weeks, everyone. So now this is a good quiz for me because I'll be able to recite that. If I know the acronym, this is good. I'm on my way. So yes, I'm brand new to the organization. I come from Freighter Foundation. So that's where I was previously. And okay, so PEARLS stands for, come on Molly, personal responsibility, empathy, awareness, respect, leadership, and support. Okay, nailed it. Thank you. I just thought that's so cool that PEARLS stands for that acronym, and that really is what all of our programming embodies, are those values that we have at PEARLS. So, a little bit more of what I wanted to say about PEARLS. Let's see, there's so much. We just got our brand new grand opening. It was last week already. And we are located right kind of by Pfizer Forum now. And I will tell you another thing is afterwards, please come see me. And I would love to set up tours or coffee chats, all the things if you want to come see our new location. I'll leave you with this before we do the plate service. I think a lot of people in nonprofit, we always are trying to figure out what our why is, like why we're working at that certain nonprofit. At Freighter, it took me a little longer, but it's already happened for me at Pearls, and I will leave you with this. When we had our grand opening ceremony, I had girls in complete tears of joy, so thankful that we have this new location where they can feel safe and included. And one girl in particular had come up to me and she said, "Molly, I want you to know Pearls actually saved my life." And that is why I get up out of bed every day. And Pearls has been around for 30 years, and I want to make sure Pearls can be around for another 30 years. So thank you all for your help in making that happen. And thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you, Molly. You can show your support for Pearls by placing something in the offering basket or donate in one of these ways. Go to the church website, UUCW website, Donate tab, and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or mail or text your donation using the information found here or in your order of service. We thank you most sincerely for your support. We will now collect the offering.
Please join me in the reading of the offering dedication found in your order of service. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. And now please stand as you're willing and able, and join congregational singing number 1053, How Could Anyone?
Tell you
For our closing words and extinguishing of our chalice, I'd like to quote a very famous person, Mr. Rogers. Who are the people in your neighborhood? Our world hangs like a magnificent jewel in the vastness of space. Every one of us is a part of this jewel. And in the perspective of infinity, our differences are infinitesimal. We are intimately related. May we never even pretend that we are not. And one of my favorites. There are 3 ways to ultimate success. First way, be kind. The second way is to be kind. And the third way is to be kind. Go in peace and have a wonderful weekend.